Today we are in Montreal, one of the largest cities here in Canada, and we are taking you around different restaurants, most of them which opened in the early 1900s and became true institutions around the city.
So we're gonna take you to 8 different places, from everything from bagels to smoked meat to, I think we're gonna start off with some breakfast.
Let's go. Oh, and we also have a true food expert, also known as my dad. But believe it or not, I mean, he was born and raised here in Montreal, introduced to some of these restaurants by his own father, and been going to those for almost 50 years.
Exactly.
So he's a professional in my book.
So welcome to La Binerie Mont-Royal, probably the best place in the city to have a real taste of authentic Quebec food.
Quebec breakfast specifically.
So La Binerie Mont-Royal started back in 1938, and just like in its name, it was on Mont-Royal Avenue back in the days, but a few years back, after 81 years on that avenue, they had to move on Saint-Denis for expansion, which is pretty good news. So this might look like a normal breakfast, but there's a few items that you can basically only get here in Quebec. First of all, there's croton. I don't think there's even a translation for that, but it's basically boiled pork, minced pork, with a bunch of spices, and it makes some sort of like pate that people put on like bread. It's a bit fatty, but it's really, really good. Then we got the famous meat pie, Quebec meat pie. This is just delicious. And beans, or fèves au lard. This is how they call it here. And they serve in this restaurant only 32 tons of these baked beans every single year. It's a lot of beans.
I have to say these beans are very good. Very simple, but amazing baked beans.
If you had to pick between the sugar pie and the pudding chômeur.
Ooh, that's a tough one. They're both very good. I'd say pudding chômeur is very good.
Okay.
The next up, we have an English translation poor man's pudding. So it's a white cake with the sauce over top. Oh, it's hot. Brown sugar, butter, cream,
And maple syrup, which is the most important ingredient.
So we're gonna try it without the
It's one of my
first.
favorite dessert here.
You do love it.
Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers. Except I'm gonna spill it everywhere.
This is really good. Could be better than the one my mother makes.
Oh.
Really good.
Oh.
This there was the original sign for their location on Mont-Royal.
So that was fantastic. The beans were so good, and the pudding chômeur. Is that how you say it? That was amazing, and everyone said it was like some of the best they'd ever had. So because of that, I have been on the hunt for an authentic, really good piece of sugar pie, and they had it there. So we took it to go because we have really high hopes about it. But we're a little too full. Well, not full yet, but we have a lot to eat yet, so save this for later.
Now welcome to Dic Anns, my personal favorite. So back in the days, Dominic Potenza, Dic Ann, and his wife had a dream. 2 Americans with the dreams of opening a fast food restaurant serving very basic hamburgers, but with a special sauce that they invented themselves. So back in 1954, they moved from the United States to Montreal, opened their first location at the intersection of Crémazie and Papineau. But within the first 2 years, they became so popular that they needed to do an expansion. And this is when they moved here on P9. And this restaurant behind me is known now as basically the original Dic Ann restaurant. And it's gonna be delicious. I don't remember the last time I had that. So like, these are like super flat burger. Like you need like this little popsicle stick to like get it out of the plate. It's so good. I've seen some people like coming to Dic Anns and like ordering burgers without the sauce, and that's, just go to McDonald's because you have to get the sauce. Like this is where the magic is at. Look at this beauty. Just very thin, but like perfect consistency of everything. And again, the sauce, this is where it's at.
Dic Anns hold the world record for the most hamburgers prepared within 60 minutes. Here at the location, the original one, 1,307 burgers in 60 minutes. Another Dic Anns surpassed that record at 1544 some years later. Still holding.
He's a natural, eh?
One take!
So our next stop is going to be La Banquise for what is probably the most popular dish in Quebec. Of course, poutine. Not poutine, not poutine, poutine, which, believe it or not, is actually a sensitive subject around the province because there's many different cities around Quebec kind of claiming that they invented it, but really, we don't really know. The only thing that we do know is that it was invented back in the 1950s in the rural part of the province.
So this place was started in 1968 by a local fireman, and it's called La Banquise because it means ice floe in French. And you're like, no, not an iceberg either. But you're like, what does an ice floe have to do with poutine? Absolutely nothing. Before that, they used to sell ice cream.
So this poutine restaurant is my personal favorite here in Montreal. Not everyone agrees with me, but a lot of people do because I don't know if you can see the line, but it's massive. And if you think it's busy now, trust me, come here on a Friday or Saturday night at around 2 or 3 a.m. It's twice as bad. Because yes, it's open 24/7. So as you can see on the menu, they serve 33 different types of poutine, but technically infinite.
Poutine?
Oh, I said that.
You said it the English way.
Like I said, 33 types of poutine, but technically infinite because you can add and remove whatever ingredient you want. So like really, like you could come here 1,000 times and eat something different every single time.
On va se partager ça.
So in case you didn't know, poutine is basically fries with some gravy and the key ingredient, which is cheese curd, which is basically mainly made here in Quebec, a little bit outside of Quebec and the rest of Canada.
Squeaky cheese.
Squeaky cheese, yeah. But really, you can't find this quality of cheese outside of Canada. It's really good.
So we got one classic and one with onion, sausage, and bacon. And I was fully ready to be like, the classic one is my favorite, but I think the one with the sausage and bacon is much better.
It's my favorite too. Well, that was delicious. I think we all agree. One critique from my dad, needed more cheese. The good news is for about $1 or $2, you can add extra cheese, which we highly suggest.
You can't come to Quebec without eating a poutine.
So this massive line on the other side of the street is for Schwartz, by far the most popular Jewish deli here in Montreal. So Reuben Schwartz opened this place back in 1928 after migrating straight from Romania, and since then they've been preparing the best smoked meat in town with a bunch of local herbs and spices, which all marinates together for a total of 10 days for the perfect bite every single time. Hi, how are you?
Sorry,
we're gonna get 2 regular sandwiches,
Yep.
1 sandwich lean,
Yep.
1 pickle.
2 medium and 1 lean?
Yes.
Perfect.
1 pickle and 1 cherry coke.
Yep.
2 cherry coke.
2 cherry coke.
So we only ended up waiting about 25 minutes, which for the size of the line isn't that bad at all. So inside, it's a place with a lot of chairs. So I would say they don't exactly want you to sit for long. Because in and out, because there's that many people. And you'll just do it family style. So you're gonna share a table with other people and eat your smoked meat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the smoked meat comes in different cuts of meat from like very lean to like very fat. I highly suggest you get the regular one because it's kind of the perfect in between. It's not too fat, it's not too dry. So regular or medium is the way to go.
The one thing that goes really well with smoked meat is pickles. And they actually make their own here.
Definitely an amazing sandwich. One of my favorite sandwich, I would say. And another fun fact about Schwartz, it was actually owned partially by Celine Dion and her husband back in the days.
I think I'm gonna say it. I think I like smoked meat sandwiches better than poutine.
Oh, that's a strong statement.
I know.
I'm not ready to say something like that. So we are now at Orange Julep, a story that started back in 1932 at Parc Belmont, where Mr. Gibeau started to sell his now famous orange juice.
So the first hair. So the original Orange Julep that opened is actually on Sherbrooke near the Olympic Stadium. So this here was the second one. However, it is the most iconic for obvious reasons, the shape of the restaurant.
Je peux-tu prendre 3 medium orange julep? Cheers
Cheers
to Montreal.
to Montreal.
I would love to explain what this juice is, but it's so far from any other orange juice you'll ever drink. There's definitely oranges in it, sugar, maybe milk.
I was like, yeah, it tastes like it's like creamy, like orange creamsicle.
And there's maybe a little bit of eggs, like you say, for yeah.
Oh yeah, I never even thought of that.
Maybe eggs and orange juice. You heard that right. Another fun fact, this time from my dad, because he was here back in the days, but they actually have waitresses on rollerblades, which is pretty cool. And they were coming to your car to serve your food like straight hanging from the window.
Yes, camera around the window.
That's pretty cool.
To the next spot.
Up next, the Montreal Pool Room for the best hot dog in all of Montreal, but not any
It
hot
sounds
dog.
so weird.
No, not any hot dog, steamed one. The pool room officially opened back in 1919, and the reason why it's called a pool room, because there's no pool room inside, is that back in the days they did have some, but not anymore. So the difference with a steamed hot dog is obviously the bun. It's not grilled or anything, and the only right way to do it is not like my dad did, because you're not allowed to put ketchup in a steamer. It's normally just like some sort of like coleslaw with mustard and relish. That's the one and only way to do it. And it's the best. It's a hot dog. Merci. So delicious hot dog. We were in and out of that place in literally about 3 minutes. As soon as you order at the counter, they give you your hot dog. They're already ready, and nobody was there. This is the kind of place that is much more popular during bar hours. So during the day, you're good to go.
So behind me is Wilensky's, and this was started by Ruth and Mo. It got started in 1932, just a couple streets down, but then in 52 they moved up to this location, and they've been here ever since. So it's really cool when you walk in. It's just as if it's a time machine, that you've stayed in the 50s your entire time. And Ruth, the wife, she actually worked straight up until she was 93 years old.
So at Wilensky's, there's only one thing you need to eat, and it's the special. It's basically like an all-beef salami sandwich that's grilled to perfection, and it always comes with mustard. If you ask without mustard, guess what? You're gonna get mustard anyway.
Salami and bologna.
That's what it says. I haven't been here in so long, but it's as delicious as what I remember. I've been coming here for so long, and I still remember as a kid being served by Ruth.
So not only is the sandwich special, but also is the soda pop. So the way that they do it, this is the original cherry cola. They take a scoop of the cherry cola inside the drink and then put the water inside.
Last bite, best bite. They also serve basically hot dogs in an onion bun. They call it top. It's really good, and it's also served with mustard. So when you go to Wilensky's, which is right there at the intersection, there's one more place that you have to visit, and that is Fairmount Bagel right there.
I'm so excited.
So back in 1949, this true Montreal institution, actually, if you talk to different Montrealers, there's two different places for bagels, Saint-Viateur and Fairmount. My family is a Fairmount family, but if you like Saint-Viateur, they're also very good. This place never closes. They're open 24/7. They're actually shipping their bagels all across the province, in different provinces, even in the United States. And back in 2008, they even sent some bagel to the International Space Station.
So as you know, bagels are one of my favorite foods, so I'm very excited. They are good, but I can't give it the true taste without like toasting it and putting butter on it. But they are very good. Now, I will say Montreal style bagels are very different than different ones. They're very chewy in the middle, which I personally love. So you have to come check it out for yourself.
Of course, definitely better with like butter and cream cheese, but a fresh bagel like that was made just a few minutes ago is truly hard to beat. Well, 8 locations later, we're all pretty full, but it was very nice to like revisit for me personally, like some of these places, my dad as well. Tracy, we brought you to a few new ones.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. So, okay, personal favorite, Tracy?
Schwartz.
Schwartz? Dad?
Wilensky's.
Wilensky's for me as well. Like the food is just so good, but like the ambiance inside brings you back to the 50s and it's like really, really cool. So anyway, it was a great video to make. I hope you enjoy. Highly suggest that you come to Montreal and try some of these places. Let us know which one is your favorite. And until next time, see you guys
in the next one.
Hey, you got it.